What's going on?
Like everything, like super fucking high, like real high. It ain't even got nothing to do with the board. Everything is coming in super fucking hot, man. It's not letting you turn it the fuck down either. I don't understand that. What is that about? Nobody gonna be allowed to engineer but me. Touch shit, man. It's supposed to be touching.
We ready?
Yeah, 1 second.
Huh?
It's like somebody turned the whole system of Scat fucking hot. What the fuck is going on?
Who was engineering before you?
Everything's supposed to be like that. No, just like way the fuck up, like super fucking
Hold on, y'all.
duper high. Like, what the fuck is that about? Hold on. Record it. It's being recorded. USB.
Hold on, take this. Hold on, Facebook people. Sorry. One second. Waiting. Hey, Joy. Sorry about your cousin. Hey, Joy, just getting everything together. All right. All right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Huh?
Ready?
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2.
All right. What's up? All right. Welcome to another edition of Headlines and Headaches. I'm your host, Larry H. Gardner. Thank you for all the patient Facebook Live people that saw me doing that. Shout out to engineer, the super engineer, EP, the show host. By the way, October 2nd, just want to say Hot Mess in the Morning is coming back with Miss Mickey and Poison Ivy on Voice of Radio. You want your Hot Mess in the Morning from 10 to 2 starting October 2nd, 2020. Bringing that with the return of Hot Mess in the Morning. Shout out to Poison Ivy and her bundle of joy, a little girl she had. And shout out to Miss Mickey coming back to voice it. Today is September 11th, 2020, and the reason why this date is significant is because it is 9/11. Now, the point of 9/11 is that 19 years ago, America was attacked by terrorists through planes. The World Trade Towers crumbled and crushed and fell, and the thing is that a lot of lives were lost. I think 30 to 40,000 lives were lost in the World Trade Towers. Some people saw the first plane come to the World Trade Towers, smashing into the top of the buildings, and then the second plane was about to hit. People jumped to their deaths not to get hit by the planes. First responders, the world stood still. That was the first time that the world heard, well, not really, but Osama bin Laden. So that was the terrorist group. That was Al-Qaeda and all that. That's what led off to the terrorists and everything. Osama bin Laden, Al-Qaeda, and all the things of that nature. President Obama, by the way, led the SEAL Team 6 team that pretty much shot and killed Osama bin Laden. But the 9/11 attacks were under the watch of President George W. Bush. The reason why is because they were watching the elections, and they said if George W. Bush was elected over Al Gore, Vice President Al Gore, under the Clinton administration, that they would attack. Well, Bush won. The World Trade Tower was lost. Not blaming him personally, but the thing about it is like Osama bin Laden and them were our allies before they were left by American soldiers in the Iran-Contra thing with Ronald Reagan. It went back to all the way back to the 80s. They were plotting this for years, and they executed it with U.S. planes. There were people that were on board those particular planes. They lost their lives. They were calling relatives saying, I love you, I'm going to die. You know, that's the messed up part about it is how, like, the last thing that you want to hear in your loved one leaving you a message or calling you and saying, I'm on this flight. They were either working it or on a business trip or whatever, and they died. They got killed. The suicide bombers took over the pilots, and those suicide bombers were trained to die. They were promised, I guess, 72 virgins in heaven or something like that, and then they, crashed, and they knew what they were doing. They was executed. They got pilot lessons and stuff like that. Back in 1994, under the Clinton administration, the World Trade Center was attacked via underground. A van ran through it, blew up the basement, but Clinton and them caught it in time, and it was no lives lost, significant, just structural damage. But the thing about it is like when you have a significant loss of life, then you always remembered it. Ground Zero, that's where the World Trade Towers stood. Used to stand. Now it's called Ground Zero. There was a remembrance today. Vice President Joe Biden, who's running against President Donald Trump, a.k.a. the occupant at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, was there with him and Vice Presidential nominee for the Democratic Party, Kamala Harris, and ran into Race Bannon, a.k.a. Vice President Mike Pence, under the Trump administration. And there was an exchange of the pandemic handshake, the elbow bump, pretty much. Masks were worn, seeing that picture, and it was civil. because this was a civil time, because we're remembering lives lost. Also, first responders who went up in there, police, fire department people who went up in there to try to rescue people from the crumbling Terminal Tower, World Trade Center. I'm sorry to say Terminal Tower. World Trade Center building. They tried to rescue people. They got some people out, but, you know, they lost their lives rescuing people as well. Now, there were 4 planes that were scheduled to hit. Now, when George W. Bush was president at the time, found out about this, he immediately took off in Air Force One. Now, 2 of the planes hit the World Trade Towers because they were the symbol of America, economic prowess, opportunity, and things of that nature. One hit the Pentagon, got shot down before, but it hit the side of the Pentagon. The last plane, Flight 93, was supposed to hit Air Force One while it was in the air. They had it hit the Air Force One. The passengers on the other heard about the other 3 planes. The first 2 hitting the World Trade Towers. They heard about those planes, and those people risked their lives to stop the terrorists from crashing into Air Force One, and those people should be remembered as heroes. I think it was like 73, 74 passengers. It was early in the morning, so yeah, it wasn't where it was at this particular point in time. So, second of all, I would like to say to those people that lost their lives, thank you for risking your life for us. Thank you very much, and thank you for doing what you did for us. So, you know, I thank you very much for that. As far as that, and pretty much everything that's happened from this particular point. So, special remembrance goes out to them, and the thing about it is that the reason I'm saying this right now is because, excuse me, I'm just adjusting myself. I got so many gadgets, it doesn't make any damn sense. So, what happened is that, what's going on, Marsha, Lane, to stand there with more, Marlene Johnson Rittenauer, Joy Lawson from Kentucky, Tony Searchlight, Marsha Lane, and everybody else.
Stan why he stood us up Tuesday.
Stan, what? Stood you up Tuesday for what?
He was supposed to be a guest on Thank You in Theory and didn't show up. We don't play that, man.
Stan, you in trouble. Stan Edward Moore, you in trouble. Now, Stan always shows up when I do my show.
He didn't show up, but no call, no show.
Wow. You
no call, no show.
Leave Stan. You know, Stan just got married, man.
Yeah, ain't no problem.
Stan got married, so you know.
He should have been happy to get out of the house.
He just got married. He probably still enjoying his wife.
He might. That's what he should.
Yeah.
My wife, I ain't showing up.
Hey, yeah.
People throw your show off when they don't show up. You have them booked. You have them in there for your rundown, and they don't come. You got to do all this stuff. Listen. That ain't cool.
Listen. Why are you talking, EP?
Yeah. I always show up at my appointment. Always.
Leave Stan alone. We remember missing enough. Like, you want to get all mad. See, now I got to deal with this today. I ain't trying to deal with this. All right, so the question is as far as 9/11. 216-772-0500. Where were you when the World Trade Towers got hit? So I have a question. So that's my question. 216-772-0500. By the way, the current occupant of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, President Trump, I don't think he showed up for the Remembrance at Ground Zero, if he did or whatever. So what's going on, GMS Shakespeare, Javante Guest? So here's my thing. I'm going to say where I was. So, but EP, where were you when the trade towers hit? Where were you? Where were you?
I was.
Yeah, where were you when the trade towers hit?
I was at the City Mission recovering from 15 years of crack use.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I'm a testimony, brother. I don't even know if you knew that, did you?
No.
We will talk about that one day.
Okay.
I've never been really ready to tell my story sometimes, but I'm ready now, because I think I did what I had to do. And that was about 20 years ago.
Wow, yeah.
And I had my bout, and I recovered. I think I'm a living testimony of what you can do when you put God in your life, brother.
Right, now you got this network going on.
Yeah.
So
Life is great.
right, that's what's up. Amen to that.
We were. I remember it was at the City Mission, and we walked into the room, we were looking at TV, and that's when that plane crashed. Hit the towers.
Right.
So that really, significant in my life. The day that happened, I definitely know where I was.
Right. So he was at the City Mission covering. I was actually, I ain't gonna lie to you, I thought you said you was gonna be at some girl house or whatever. I'm like, I was just expecting that you get whatever. Right, I didn't expect that. Javante Guest said God is awesome. He truly is.
Amen.
Hey, so let me tell you where I was. And this is gonna be funny. So I was in the promotion music game, but at the time I guess got laid off from my job at Autograph Foliages. I'm giving them free pub. I was a customer service agent. We were selling plants and trees. That was like in August or whatever. So I was actually about to interview for a law firm as a law clerk. My friend, excuse me with the one of my promotional partners, a lot of people know him as Alfredo Cardona. He came over to my house on my apartment on Broadway, East 49th and Broadway, right near the 49er Diner around the way, down the street from Theo's Lounge. Y'all know where it is, that apartment. It was just me and my mom. And I was about to go interview. And Freda was like, hey, man, why don't you let us watch this tape? The tape he wanted was a dang porno tape that I had got from somewhere from the adult bookstore. Since Harold told us to him and told him, he wanted to watch, make sure it was the right tape. It was the right tape. I forgot what it was. It was a bunch of sisters that he was looking at. And I'm like, man, turn that tape. I'm trying to get ready. He's sitting on the couch because he knocked on the door. He's sitting on the couch. He buzzed up, and I was like, preparing. I didn't even turn the TV on yet. Then he put the tape in, and he was like, man, let me borrow this. I'm like, man, shoot, $10, you can have it. I ain't got $10. Again, broke behind, didn't have no money. So I'm like, listen, until you get up some money, you can have my tape. You can have the tape. What's up, Arrogant? 216-772-0500. Let me know where you were at when the towers hit, when the towers got hit by the planes, on 9/11. I was about to prepare to go downtown to this law firm. It was like a $10 an hour job. To like 10 with the potential of overtime or whatever. I was still promoting music, like stapling stuff on light posts and stuff like that when he was doing that. Shout out to Quincy Taylor, Big Hef. So what happened was that the law firm actually called me and said, Mr. Gardner, we're shutting down today. We're not going to be interviewing because my interview was at noon. This was like 10 o'clock. It only took me I was near downtown, so it took me like 15 minutes to get downtown. So I was already about to send, Fredo was about to go with me or do whatever he was doing. After that, I was going to go to this girl house and kick it. So what happened was I was going to take the tape with me. So just for anybody, FYI, this is pre-Sun, pre-everything. So they called me. I was like, why are y'all shutting down? Well, Mr. Gardner, something happened, and we got to shut down. The government is the president, the lady couldn't explain to me. She was scared. Now, this is a white woman, she was scared as what? So it's we're about to leave, and thank you very much. We'll call you when we have a chance. I'm like, okay. So it wasn't me because I'm pretty much I had the job. I just had to go down there, interview, and probably sign my W-2. W-9, I-9 forms, whatever, you sign up your tax forms and stuff like that. So I had it. So what happened was that I didn't turn on the news because I'm irritated as hell right now. So when I turned on the news, that's when I saw the first plane hit. Like, me and Fredo was like, man, what's going on? Like, all this stuff going on. What happened? You know, and first thing, you know, both of us, you know, I had a little something in the morning. Little drink in the morning. He had something in the morning. So it was like, you know, my mom was still at work. So we had saw the plane hit. And we was like, that's a really bad accident. Somebody going, you know, the airline's going to pay. And then the second plane hit, and they was talking about Osama bin Laden, all this is deliberate and things of that nature. Long story short, it was like, man, we under attack. You know, everybody get home. He left. Fredo left. Oh, like, man, I'm out of here. I'm like, oh, now you leaving, huh? Okay. So what happened is that I called my mom at work. She's about to come home. She's like, she works for a drug treatment center. She's about to come home. Like, I'm scared. I want to come home. So she like, I'm coming home. Like, well, that means, you know, all friends get kicked out the house. And I'm like, I'm about to go check on my friend Herb. His wife working at the bank. He telling his wife, come home. He drinking. He at home. He come home. I went up there to Best Buy, caught the bus all the way. Like, everything, it was like everything was just angry, right? Everybody was just angry right now. It was just like angry at the terrorists, angry at that. Then we found out, we was watching the news. And I was depressed. I watched the news for like 5 days straight. I went to my Uncle Wayne's church, Wayne Friends, Straightway Baptist. My mother said, well, let's just go there and just get away from the TV. Because that's all that was. There were no football, baseball, nothing, no games. The NFL season just started. You know, the Browns was doing good. They was playing, they was going to be playing such and such. It was like everything was postponed. It was like a week. You know, WWE, I watched that. It was postponed because of 9/11. It was the first things to come back on. You know, Lillian Garcia singing the national anthem, and you know, everybody getting emotional. Vince was like leading the charge, Vince McMahon. And it was like, the thing about it was is that it scared a lot of people. Before this pandemic, this scared the hell out of a lot of people. Like, because America lives in a bubble. Somebody said that America lives in a bubble. We don't know if we was going to be under attack or not. You know, with bombs coming up. Like, you know, they got stuff that can, like, right now, North Korea got stuff that can touch America's soil. Like, everybody thought it was going to be World War III. So, and it was like, everybody was talking about, it's going to be World War III, the Arabs are mad, and they're going to kill us. And I'm like, listen, they don't really care about that. They was trying to say, reach the infidels or whatever. So, it's just, to me, it was a wake-up call for the U.S. to be better prepared and to pick better leaders. I guess this is the second wake-up call because right now the orange idiot's in office. So you just an FYI, remember 9/11 and remember November now because, you know, we see the damage that things could happen when you neglect other people and other people are upset and think because outside of the United States, there's a whole nother world that still don't like Americans. Whether you're black, white, whatever, they still don't like the American people. So you got to remember that. But also remember that the right leadership will quell all that. Let me explain this. Why am I saying this up to now? Because right now, because of the President Trump, every outside person who's not American, every outside country thinks that we are a joke. They think we are a joke. They don't care about us. What's going on, Dwayne? With Dwayne Jones watching. My man Arrogant, Carlin Warren, him and DJ Chicago always putting up, you know, Tales from the Club. I was on there. Shout out to them again. It's just that we have issues and problems and discrepancies in this country now that other countries outside looking at us are like, you didn't have this particular problem when Obama was in office. Let me say that again. There were no terrorists. You talk about the police officers and stuff like that. The only terrorists that were attacking Americans were domestic terrorists. The Ku Klux Klan, rogue police officers, things of that nature. Oh, and today would be a great day. especially on 9/11, to arrest the cops that murdered Breonna Taylor. I'm just going to keep bringing that up. Today would be a great day to arrest the cops that murdered Breonna Taylor. And I'm talking about my personal ordeal at the Cleveland Clinic when I was in an emergency and things happened. I went back to another emergency, and it was checked out and everything went smoothly like it should have went smoothly in the Cleveland Clinic. And those who want to criticize me, I'm on air and you're not. Screw you. So the thing about it is, I'm just going to say that I'm on air and you're not. That's right. I'm on air and you're not. No matter how many followers you think I got, just because you got more followers don't mean nobody listens to you. Maybe I may got 12,000 followers, but guess what? Millions of people listen to my ass every single Friday from 5 to 6 because I'm on air and you're not. Again, middle finger to all you haters. Haters. You made yourself embarrass yourself on that film at the Cleveland Clinic. No, the thing about it is when I decided to stand up and start to yell, that's when they was like, oh, no, please, no. Let's go ahead and leave. Oh, yeah. Now you get the hint. Now you get the picture. Now you get that I ain't fucking playing. Excuse me, I ain't playing. So, yeah, like I said again, one last time, I'm on air and you're not. So, suck on that. But I'm going to say this, though. This is like going back to the tragedy in 9/11. A lot of people were lost. Lives were lost. Things got destroyed. The World Trade Towers just went down. Like after the planes hit them, the structural damage caused the towers to collapse. Imagine you getting out the towers alive. And you're just sitting there, looking at that. And then all of a sudden, stuff crashes on you. But we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. I'm going to talk about last night's football game between the Chiefs and the Texans and the two richest quarterbacks in the game. We'll be right back. Headlines and headaches. Remember 9/11. This is Pharrell fronting. We'll be right back.